Hey everyone, welcome on into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. On today's episode, I thought we could kind of run through the next wave of NFL free agency. The first wave is over with, maybe even the second wave is over, and now we transition to the third wave, and some of the older free agents, they're just going to get signed at random points in time. So let's dive into the top 5 players that I think make the most sense for Atlanta, not just the top 5 best players, period, and my ranking for them going from 5 to 1, and this is not my ranking of them as a player. It's my ranking of my preference for the Falcons to sign them. So starting at number 5, it is future Hall of Famer Von Miller, who has played with the Bills for the last 3 years after a tiny stint with the Rams where he won a Super Bowl, and then of course we all remember him with the Denver Broncos for a long, long time. Now, Miller has not been the same guy, and I'm not trying to pass him off as the same player he was in Denver. 2023 was abysmal for him. There was some off-the-field issues, and he just wasn't even present on the field. He was not getting on for many meaningful snaps. But last year for Buffalo, 6 sacks in 13 games, a big improvement from 2023. Now, the role has been greatly diminished, and I am not signing Miller with the expectation of him having a large role for Atlanta's pass rush. Remember when we talked about Khalil Mack of, hey, bring him over and use him for obvious passing situations, like let him kind of save up his energy, pin his ears back, and just get after the quarterback on second and third down when you expect him to throw. I would say that could be the same role for Miller, but in a lesser extent, because he's not even where Khalil Mack is at this point of his career. He's further behind than that. So I'd be open to signing Von for the expectation of we don't have a lot of money, we're not going to give you a lot of money, and we don't expect a whole lot from you. But if we can get 6-7 sacks for $5 million, that wouldn't be very far off from what you got out of Bud Dupree and Calais Campbell and what you paid them. So money well spent, right? You get what you pay for here. This is as high as I would go for spending on a player like Von, who has just been MIA for far too often the past 2 to 3 seasons in Buffalo. But Atlanta needs some help. I mean, look at the front 5 right now. It is full of some new faces, some inexperienced faces, and future Hall of Famer and a leader and a captain like Von Miller would probably go a long way to help develop a guy like Braylon Trice, maybe even some Arnold Ebiketie, Zach Harrison, and more importantly, whoever they draft in April in the first 2 days of this year's NFL draft. So I'm open to the idea of signing I'm open to the idea of signing Von Miller. My voice is kind of hoarse. I took a red eye from Vegas this morning, and you can probably tell from my just overall energy, we'll put it right now. So I'm open to signing Von Miller, but for a very cheap contract with the understanding of you're not going to get a lot from him at this point of his career. Now, if you want Atlanta to sign an edge, hit that thumbs up button down below. Let's try to get the football gods on Falcons fans' side to build up that pass rush after year after year after year of it being disappointing and letting this team down. Coming in at number 4, let's go with another Buffalo Bill. Wide receiver Amari Cooper. Probably did not expect me to be talking about a receiver. This is the only receiver we're going to talk about, but I just bring up Amari Cooper not because I think Atlanta's receiver room needs more top-end help. I'm looking at the bottom end. I'm looking past Drake London and Darnell Mooney and Ray McLeod, and I'm not seeing a ton of great depth. And I think Cooper, as a veteran, as a leader, could be a nice safety blanket for Michael Penix as he basically becomes a first-year starter this year. And if there's an injury that pops up, Cooper can be a great tool and a great asset to make sure that Michael Penix has a comfortable target to throw to, someone who can read defenses, someone that can find the soft spot in the zone and just lay down and get the first down for his young quarterback. I do not, once again, similar to Von Miller, have expectations of Cooper coming in here and putting up 1,000 yards after the disappointing 2024 season he had. I mean, just 2 years ago, he put up back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, the first player in Browns history to post consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons. But the last year speaks for itself. Played 14 games between Cleveland and Buffalo and had less than 600 yards, less than 50 grabs, and less than 5 touchdowns and 12 drops. And for a guy that has surefire hands, this is a bad sign of maybe the, age really catching up to Cooper, which sucks to see. So similar to Vaughn, I don't think wide receiver, or similar to Vaughn, I don't think you should be expecting to get a whole lot out of him. So 1 year, $4 million contract, you get what you pay for. But I like the idea of adding a veteran receiver to the roster so Michael Penix, if an injury were to happen, doesn't have like an oh crap moment. Who is on the field right now? No. Oh, it's Amari Cooper. Okay, this is someone who knows the game and who can step in here and can deliver some quality grabs and some meaningful yards for a 3-4 game stretch if needed until Drake London or Darnell Mooney can come back to the field. Before we move on to the top 3 players remaining in free agency that Atlanta might sign, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If they sign any of these guys, we're going to have a video out for you. Plus, the draft is a little over a month away. It's actually just almost a month away to the dot. So make sure you subscribe. That way you do not miss any free Falcons content over the next 4 weeks. At number 3, let's go with Matt Judon. After a disappointing year in Atlanta where the Falcons gave up a 3rd-round draft pick for him, could the Falcons ultimately bring him back? This seemed like a major long shot a month or 2 ago. And then it felt like some momentum happened going into free agency. Nothing's materialized. Nothing has been signed or anything like that. But with Judon still a free agent, maybe the Falcons decide, or better yet, maybe Judon decides to come back for a lesser deal. Initially, could have been hoping for a bigger contract elsewhere. That's not coming. So both sides come to the negotiating table and go, listen, Judon, you were hoping for 10 plus million. The first wave is gone. You weren't a part of it. So we'd be open to bringing you back, but never at 10 plus million. What about like 4 to 5 million? And with the way Judon played the last month of the season, 10 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, Falcons could feel like, hey, for the right price, we're willing to gamble on finding the last month of 2024 Judon for longer in 2025 now that our horrendous DC is gone and Raheem Morris and Jeff Ulbrich can do a better job of calling the shots. I still don't expect a reunion to happen, but if Judon's price goes down and the Falcons are still looking for pass rush help, I could see themselves talking themselves into re-signing Judon, going, he's not as expensive as he was hoping he would be in March. He played well down the stretch for us last year. We have a new defensive coordinator. We did give up a 3rd-round draft pick for him. So from like a pride standpoint, if we bring him back and he plays well for us, we can sell ourselves on that 3rd-round draft pick being a good trade when looking back it wasn't. But I don't hate Terry Fontenot for taking a shot at that. So I want to know, do you think the Falcons should re-sign Judon? Give me a yes or give me a no. I still lean towards no, but if the price continues to go down and no one else has come aboard, why not? What do you have to lose? At number 2 now, let's talk about, sorry, bad voice crack. There's the voice. This is why you don't have a cigar at 11 p.m. before a red-eye flight. Za'Darius Smith. This is someone that I have talked more and more about over the last 10 to 14 days. The NFC North journeyman from the Packers, the Vikings, and then most recently the Lions has still been a very productive player the last couple of seasons. In 2023 with the Browns, 5.5 sacks, but the pressures were really high. It was one of the better pressure rates in the NFL. Then he plays half the year in 2024 with Cleveland, the other half in Detroit. 9 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, and 17 quarterback hits. If you're looking at those numbers going, yeah, but he's declining, he's getting older, let me remind you, 2 years ago, Calais Campbell and Bud Dupree, who Campbell much older, but Dupree is similar age of Za'Darius Smith, led the team in sacks with 6.5. So sure, you might not be getting that 12, 10 sack player, but you're not paying him to be a 12 or 10 sack player. You give him a 1 year, $8 million contract, you get 8 sacks, and that is the most sacks in a season by a Falcon since Vic Beasley. So, yeah, I do that deal. I make that deal. 1 year, $8 million for 8 sacks, $1 million per sack. I'm on board with that. You might be looking for a bit more, but accept it. It's probably not going to happen with this free agency crop at that position. So finding a guy who has been very consistent over the last 4 years when healthy, I'm in. And then at number 1, let's go with Asante Samuel Jr. You knew this one was coming. Former second-round draft pick out of Florida State, the youngest of the bunch, a player that we have had circled on this channel for months now here as a great free agent target. Now, I have to acknowledge that re-signing Mike Hughes knocks the chances of Atlanta going after another DB down significantly. But as long as Samuel stays on the open market, he might have to lower his price. And it may get down to a number where the Falcons initially were like, we're going to pass on Samuel because we expect him to get $20 million. We're not paying $20 million. We'd rather give Mike Hughes a 1 year, $9.6 million contract and guaranteed money. But if Samuel's price goes down, it may get down to a number where Atlanta decides, hey, that's an affordable amount where we feel comfortable making an investment in a player who over his career has been a really strong piece on defense. Yes, last year he missed most of the year with a shoulder injury, but look at the seasons prior. Back-to-back seasons of never missing a game, 4 interceptions combined, 6 altogether in his career. So you look at the availability through 4 seasons. I've got 2 years where he played 17 games, 1 where he played 2/3, and 1 where he played less than a quarter. Which one's the outlier? I'm willing to bet on him returning closer to the 17-game kind of guy than a 4-game type of player. Now, there is a chance that he is still unsigned because the shoulder injury is giving teams fits and maybe it's not clearing some medicals and things like that. But as long as Samuel's on the open market, I'm going to have some level of interest because we saw last year that some of the DBs for Atlanta did not transition super well from a man defense, which they ran before Raheem Morris, to a heavy zone defense, which they were one of the leading teams in zone usage in 2024. Plus, you're still looking for a new nickel corner to replace D. Alford. I've got Clark Phillips there. Samuel's an outside corner. At least that's what he was primarily with the Chargers. But his size would indicate he could move inside. He's got good agility. He's got good movement. He's 180 pounds, a little under 6 foot. So I don't think he's too lengthy or too giraffe-esque where he would be uncomfortable playing inside. I think it'd be worth experimenting. And if it doesn't work super well inside, you have one too many good corners. That's never been a problem I've ever run into in my life. So I think a 1 year, $9 million contract may not be what we initially expected for Samuel. It may not be what he's looking for. But at this point, it may be the best offer he gets. He gets a good amount of cash for this year, an opportunity to prove himself, and then cash in again next year after a full, hopefully healthy season in Atlanta. Before we sign off, 1 or 2 quick things. 1, make sure you check out the sale continuing over on Fanatics, chatsports.com/ATL sale. They've got a bunch of really cool stuff on clearance, some of the sideline gear here. I put this link for you all in the comments and description of today's video. Now, of the 5 players that we talked about today, who do you want to sign? Let me know in the comment section below. For me, I gave you my ranking, so I'd go with Asante Samuel. I think that'd be a signing that could really move the needle. Cooper was not on my radar, and I don't think he still is, but I think giving Michael Penix another veteran receiver as a depth piece in case an injury pops up could be something that you look back at and thank yourself for. So let me know who you would like to sign down below in the comment section. Really appreciate everyone for tuning in. I'm sorry, I just don't quite have 110%, I wouldn't say energy today, but yeah, first time doing a 1:20 a.m. Spirit Airlines flight from Vegas after a bachelor party. And working on Sunday was quite the decision that I did not plan well in advance when I signed myself up for this 2 months ago. So sorry for the voice, but we will be back with all energy, all systems go tomorrow.